hold on. We're having some technical difficulties. Unexpected technical. Guys, hold on a minute. What is happening here? Hi, guys. Okay, this thing is annoying, and now I have to switch it, which I thought I did before, and then my phone shut off, so just give me a moment. Hi, guys. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on. I can't believe what a bitch YouTube is being right now. Can you guys hear me? Hi. Post a thumbs up emoji if you guys can hear me right now and if everything's okay. I know it froze on me too, so it's not your guys' fault. Yes, okay, yay, we're here and we're live. Hi guys, hi. Thanks so much for joining me. This is, actually, hold on one second. Hold on one. Can you guys still hear me now? Can you hear me maybe a little bit better? Yeah? Just blurry, huh? That might just be my face. All right. Okay, do me a favor. Can you guys on the chat that you're watching, can you see a little $sign down by the comment boxes? It should be like a $sign in a square. Can you see that? The video's out of sync? Okay. So you can see the little $sign thing. So that is going to be how you guys submit questions, okay? That's called a super chat. And so you guys can click that box and you can pin, it lets you pay to pin a chat. And so it'll, like, the more you pay, I mean, you don't have to spend $500, but like the more you pay, the longer your chat will stay up, and it'll stay up like really big, okay? So if one of you guys wants to try it, give me the first question I answer. But other than that, we're gonna talk about difficult family. So until you guys get the super chat thing going on, we're gonna talk about difficult family, because I feel like today was a day that a lot of you guys spent with family, and it was, you know, difficult. Because here's the thing. We're gonna talk about mostly like the kinds of difficult family we're going to encounter today. Wait, hold on, what's going on? Oops. Sorry guys, just TO real quick. Do you guys see the super chat thing? No? Okay, it might not be available right now. So if not, then we're just gonna talk, and we'll worry about the super chat some other time. But that's okay, because I'm just excited to talk to you guys. All right, so let's talk about toxic family, because probably most of you guys spent like a very exhausting day with your family. And let me guess what they wanted to talk about. When are you gonna settle down, right? This is like the common refrain from our family. And the reason family does that, the reason they are so focused on you finding a husband, settling down, moving in with someone, is because to them, that is their version of safe. You know what I mean? Like, that is their version of like, oh, the box is checked, she's okay, someone is taking care of her. Obviously, we know better. Marriage is the end of a lot of different problems, but it's the beginning of a whole bunch of new ones. Like, think about it if you were unemployed, right? All you wanted was a job. And when you get a job, you would be like, okay, this is the end certainly of some problems, but this is also the beginning of other problems. Like, yes, you might not be like worried about money in the same way, but you're gonna be like, now I'm tired. Now I can't like roam around during the day. Now I have a boss who's fucking annoying. Like, do you know what I mean? It's the end of some things, and it's the start of completely new things. And we accept that about a job, and we accept that about like a friendship, or like going to a school, or achieving any other kind of goal. But for some reason, when it comes to love and marriage, we like forget this, we block this out. Or at least a lot of times our parents do. So today we're gonna talk about some ways to deal with toxic parents. And when I say toxic, this is something that I've learned. Toxic people can love you very much, right? They can love you and they can want the best for you, what their version of the best is. very much. And in their mind, they're coming from a really good place. But intention is not everything. Like I've used this example like 1 million times. You can get in a car drunk. Oh, hi, somebody pinned something. Hi. Hi, Leslie. Let me just wrap this up and then we're going to talk to you. Well, thank you for saying, Leslie said, I love your video, Shallon. The insight into celebrity relationships is my favorite. Thank you. That makes me so happy to hear because I love talking about celebs too because I'm, you know, a celeb hoe like everyone. But yeah, toxic people can love you very much, but that doesn't mean that their version of reality is your version of reality. And I've always said, it's like adults and parents, they've had their chance to live their life the way they wanted. And maybe they did and maybe they didn't. That isn't your issue to fix. You know what I mean? So I've got some strategies here. Here's a checklist for whether or not you're dealing with people who are just difficult or people who are actually toxic. And I want you to go through this checklist with me, okay? Do they tend to overreact and create a scene? And by the way, this is from a study on by Dr. Darlene Lancer on Psychology Today. So she knows what she's talking about. Do they use emotional blackmail? Oh, you don't want to be here for me and listen to what I tell you? Do you remember when you came home crying about your prom date? You know, they hold things over you. They lord it over you. Do they make unreasonable and frequent demands? Do they try to control you? Is it a my way or the highway situation? Do they criticize and compare you? Well, you know, your cousin Stephanie was already married by this time. Hi, Callisto. Oh my gosh, my best friend used to call me Callisto in 2nd grade because my hand has a lot of lines on it, like a moon, I think, of Jupiter, which was named Callisto. We were nerds. Oh, and Miss Wannabe says, yes, abusive parents, please, especially, whoops, hold on. Especially when you still have to live with them. My dad's fairly aggressive. Love you and thank you for everything. Okay, so this is segueing to our next topic. Let me go through this checklist and then we'll talk about how to actually separate. Did they listen to you with like sort of an unhealthy interest? Like, do they encourage you to take a job just because maybe they could get something out of it? Do they manipulate you, blame you, attack you? Do they take responsibility and apologize for things? Probably not. Do they respect your physical and emotional boundaries? Are they constantly bringing up something they know is painful for you? Like, my marriage lasted less than a year and my mom, for the longest time, referred to it as my sham marriage. Until I was like, do not ever say that to me again. That is so disrespectful and so painful. And she's like, oh, like she didn't understand the power of her words. And what we have to do first and foremost is make people aware of the consequences that their behavior is taking on us. Maybe they know and maybe they don't, but the first step is people can't change what they don't acknowledge. You know what I mean? And they might be saying something flippantly or thinking it's no big deal, or again, for them it's coming from a place of love. For us, it's like has a completely different meaning. And parents know how to push our buttons because they installed those buttons, right? Yeah. So, do they envy and compete with you, and do they disregard your feelings or needs? So if any of these things are kind of pinging around, I also read today some new studies that were done at the University of Utah, and they were talking about estrangement, like young people, not children, but young adults who are estranged from their parents. And estrangement means basically you don't speak to them anymore or like very infrequently. And estrangement we kind of think of as like an event. It's like, and we're estranged. But they said to try to think of it like a continuum, like it's an ever evolving dynamic. And so they said basically 3 different things. You want, I wrote it down, where did I put it? I literally, what did I do? No. Okay, well let's see if we can remember these. Hold on one second, Melissa. Hi, Melissa. Melissa Rittenhouse, I remember your name. I think we're already friends. So one thing that they said is key in terms of putting some distance between you and parents is putting literal distance. If you can't put emotional distance between what your parent is saying to you, which obviously is very difficult because like I said, they know how to push the buttons, they install them. It's important to put physical distance. Moving away is more beneficial and actually is better for your parental relationship than having some big blowout where you're like, you don't understand me, I'm cutting this relationship off. Because having that physical distance gives you kind of an excuse for why you don't talk as much. Do you know what I mean? So that can be really, really crucial. Even if you just move one town over. And I understand if you live with a parent, but then look at the reality of your situation and be like, okay, it is not healthy for me to be here. It's not healthy for me to be in this environment. My dad is aggressive. I don't get along with my mom. I hate my fucking brother. I need to move out. And then you make that your number one priority. There's no more boozy bottomless brunch. There's no more $30 here and there at Forever 21. You're saving every penny you have because you're putting your emotional health before anything else, right? And that leads me to my second point. Financial independence is everything. It is everything. That is freedom. Financial freedom is the only freedom there is. Women stay in bad marriages. We stay in toxic houses. We stay with toxic roommates. We stay in small towns because we don't have the financial freedom we need. And one thing we do, and this is so funny, it's like we spend money to look rich, and by that process, we become poor. Like, do you know how fucked up it is? It's like, I'm going to bankrupt myself to buy a Gucci belt so that I look rich, but ironically, buying the thing to look rich is what's making me poor. And sorry, I just realized you guys can see that I'm like not wearing pants. But like, if we looked at it like that, it's like, I want people to react to me and not my social mask. Because when we look at most people, it's like, look at their car, look at their clothes, look at their vacations. That's their social mask. You ain't see their credit score. You don't see their credit card bill. You don't know their bank balance. It's all very different. And there is a dignity in doing things that you can afford, especially if it's something towards something that's more emotionally healthy for you. No, I'm actually not going to go out and get a new summer wardrobe because I'm saving for my freedom. That's going to look better on me than a brand new outfit, than that stupid floral romper, right? So prioritize financial freedom. And then once you are able to love on your own and your parents aren't a money bully, because the person who has the money makes the rules. And that's just kind of the way the world works, right? We all know that. Then you can get some perspective. And then when they don't have power over you and they know that, the dynamic is going to shift. And maybe you guys can meet, not as like the parent-child, the one's controlling, the one's subservient. You can meet as equals. And then this brings me to my third point. You want to look at their values and see what aligns with yours and what doesn't. Maybe for them, going to church every single week aligns with your values. You're into that too. But you're okay to have a baby out of wedlock. They are not okay with that. So then if you have to interact with them, you steer things towards their values that do intersect, and that's going to create a more harmonious situation. Shared interest leads to a better bond, right? And then you can go in a little bit more prepared because you will already understand the minefields, I've talked about this in other videos, like dealing with your ex. Like, go through these mental scenarios, the possibilities of how something might play out, and then you can anticipate your plan of attack. Because it's like, and then you can see it coming. You're like, oh, here comes Uncle Gary. He's talking about Hillary Clinton. I know where this is leading. I know where this is leading. He's going to start talking about how black people shouldn't date white people, and my boyfriend's black, and we're not fucking going there. So if you can anticipate where your boundaries are and where your values are versus theirs, you're going to be a little bit more forewarned, and forewarned is forearmed, right? Okay. Should we start taking some questions? Oh, Baron. Hi, Baron. I love Baron. Make a series of videos on how to gain financial freedom. Ooh, including investment in the stock market, which I've been very interested in. Oh, hi, Jordan. I never knew your name was Jordan. Hi, that's amazing. So that's going to be my next challenge is finances, because finances are a tricky thing. They're almost like sex in that there's so much like complexes wrapped up in it, and every family dynamic is different when it comes to like sex and sexual relations, and it's the same with finances. And if you can see back here on my bookshelf, I have 2 books on finance. This first one is called You Are a Badass at Making Money. And this one is by Lisa Nichols. She contributed to The Secret. This is called Abundance Now. Amplify your life and achieve prosperity today. These are both amazing books. Have I read them? No, I have not. Why? Because I'm stupid. I need to read these things. Because one of the things I learned in this book, You're a Badass at Making Money, it's that money represents something else. You see just these little like blurbs in a book. They're just like a little aside where like they talk to someone on the street or whatever. Just these little like highlighted out things. This one guy said something, and he's like, I have issues with money because my father never paid my mother child support, and therefore I value myself as zero. My dollar valuation is zero. So I can't ask for raises. I don't like to talk about money. And I was like, oh, like I felt that in such a real way. So for the next challenge, we're gonna go deep on this. So if you guys have other money questions, because like I am going to be learning along with you, and my whole family is so good at money and money management, and I am like a permanent 15-year-old with this. It's fucking terrible. Terrible. Yeah, my iPad. Yeah, I had written something down on like a piece of paper. I know. Okay, so we have more questions. Let's see what they are. Ooh, how to make friends and meet boys post-grad. Mackenzie, thank you for this question. I love it. Oh, and hi, Nicole. Okay, this is actually a really good question. How to make friends post-grad, because graduating from college is like the most traumatic thing that can ever happen to you. It's like you've become a refugee in your own life. Everything that you've ever known, everything that you've ever done, all your habits, all your norms, like it just ends one day. And you're supposed to see this as a good thing, and it's not. Like the entire way you've lived your life since you were 5 years old is suddenly over, and you're supposed to be like, I know exactly what to do now. And a huge part of that is making friends, because you don't realize like, oh, it was so easy to make friends, and you probably didn't even think it was easy, but now you're looking back and you're like, fuck, it actually was. It was easier to make friends because you were in an environment where every single person was your age. Every single person had things in common with you. You went to the same school. There was the same high school team. You know, like there were so many things that were precisely the same to build upon. And now that's not true. So when I hear you guys in high school and college be like, how do I make friends? I'm like, girl, it literally doesn't get easier than this. It just gets harder. So how do you make friends post-grad? All right. You got to get involved in things. You really have to make an effort. It's kind of like finding a job. I guess it's possible that a job is just going to come find you. I guess it's possible that friends are going to just beat down your random apartment door. I wouldn't necessarily bet on that. So I was able to make a lot of friends in New York City, partly because New York City is very easy to make friends, right? Hi, Frosty. We're going to get to your, ooh, Frosty's got a sexy question. All right, we're going to answer this and we're going to get to that. So you got to get involved in things. Join weird clubs. Like I said, New York City, it's easy because everyone in New York City is kind of that same mindset. We're all sort of away from our family. We're all go-getters. We're all very bonded and united in like the bullshit that we're dealing with living in New York City. It's a hard city and that really unites people. In a small town, it's difficult. So again, think about prioritizing that financial freedom and getting to a place that has a population you want to be a part of. If you can't, if you're still stuck in that small town, you got to cast a wide net. In college, I was in a really small town and it was hard to make friends, but I did it because I did a whole bunch of different things. I joined ROTC, the improv team. I did belly dance. I wrote for the school paper. I volunteered. I worked at some stupid factory. And I met maybe like 1 or 2 people in each place. Well, when you look at it in total, like that was 15 new friends. And I'm friends with 80% of those people today. So you really have to expand and you have to get outside of your comfort zone. If you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. You know what I mean? So the same with meeting boys. Do a million different things. All of us have threads of passion. I call it, some other people call it, where it's these little things that just make you light up inside. Maybe it's gardening, baking, bird watching, just being out in nature, animals. Follow those little threads and follow them as much as you can into something that's social. If it's animals, volunteer at a shelter, organize a dog walking club. Just go to the dog park and hang out with one of your friends. And you're going to meet people who are like-minded and they're going to be magnetized to you because you're doing things that make you light up inside, right? All right, let's see what Frosty has to say. Frosty21. Hi, Shallon, love your videos. Couples and happy endings. Well, thank you. I was wondering what your thoughts are on a BDSM 24/7, total power exchange relationships. Is this a dumb idea? Also, cheating in polyamorous relationships. Ooh. So, I love a good strong man, you know, and I'm an alpha female. I'm a strong, tough bitch. And that's why when I'm with my boyfriend, it's like, I need to just be dominated. I remember I don't know if it was one of my friends. I don't even know where they heard it. where I heard it, but someone's like, ugh, I just want someone to choke me and shut me the fuck up. And I was like, yeah, someone just shut me up. Even now doing this live stream, I'm like, God, this me again. Just here I am talking more. So I like a very dominant man. Hi, James. We're gonna get to you in a second. I thought maybe you were my ex, James, and I got excited / sad. So as much as I do love a good dominant man, I don't think any sort of total power exchange is healthy. And I don't think any kind of man should want a woman to have zero power in any capacity, in an emotional sense, in a physical sense. I don't know that that's a healthy dynamic, because that to me says a man doesn't understand what a woman's experience is like just living in the world. We already have very little power. Physically, a 10-year-old boy could beat the shit out of me. A dog could kill me. Do you know what I mean? I already have like a power deficit living in the world. Certainly now that we're in like Trump's America, like this isn't a great place for a small woman or a big woman or any woman whatsoever. So if a man needs to further take away power, I don't know. A little bit of like that BDSM play can go a really long way. So if you or he feels the need to like really take that from you, I think maybe that's something to talk about outside of the sexual realm. In terms of cheating in a polyamorous relationship, polyamory is contingent on a ton of communication. But just remember, what I hear from polyamorous couples is like they're afraid to say that they are feeling jealous. You know, it's like they have to be like so cool with everything. It's just we're cool or polyamorous. Girl, you're still a woman. He's still a man. Your heart is still your heart. And you can make whatever rules you want, but technicalities don't count in terms of emotion. That's not how our emotions function. So if you're feeling uncomfortable, if you're feeling like, hey, this doesn't work for me, that's fine. You can back things up and be more conservative. What you can't do, I mean, and you can lie to other people, just don't lie to yourself about what you're comfortable with, because there's no right or wrong answer. Okay. I know. Sam, Mia, I know. I saw that too. Let's see. New rumor, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively saying he's talking to Scarlett Johansson, also possibly cheating. You know where that rumor came from? That came from OK Magazine. I used to work for that company, and they make shit up. So let's just not believe anything we see on Star, OK, Us Weekly. I mean, assuming you guys aren't like a lawyer for that company here on this live chat. Hi, Maria, kisses from Portugal. I think I'm going to go to Portugal this summer, so I need your guys' like Portugal tips. Let's see, what else you guys want to know about? Hold on, I think we have, whoop. Sorry. Oh yeah, James, can you just like post your question again on here? You don't have to super chat it again, just like post it again so that I can see it. It disappeared. In the meantime, we'll answer Rihanna. Rihanna? Ooh, that's a pretty name. How do you feel, how not to feel insecure dating a guy much richer than you, who's mainly dated girls in his elite circle? Girl. You know what I saw last night? You know what I saw? I saw the movie Penguins. It's about penguins. It's a Disney Nature Channel, and it's following these penguins around the Antarctic. And it follows the point of view of Steve, this one male penguin. And his whole thing is how he spends the entirety of his existence making a nest for a female penguin. Not even a female penguin he's even met. He's making this nest first and foremost to attract the female. He's making it big, he's making it pretty, he's stealing rocks from other penguins. And then when all the females arrive, because they arrive later because they've got their own shit going on, he's like, he's like making this whole mating dance to try to entice the female penguins over. And I was like, I'm learning something today. The male builds things and creates things and goes out and achieves and acquires things to attract a mate. That is the way of the world. Certainly, that is the way of our world right now, because women make less than men for the same fucking job. If you guys don't believe that, you haven't been working long enough. And I didn't believe this either until I literally stole my coworker's pay stub one day. They accidentally put it on my desk. I mean, what am I supposed to do? Give it back? No, of course I opened it. He was a junior position to me, junior. and was a nightmare, made so many problems, not good at his job. He made more money than me. And that's when I was like, I get it now. I get it. None of us want to think it's going to happen to us. So a man should be making more than you. He should. I date primarily college educated males in America. Most of the time they've been white, but not always. But no matter what race they were, they had a college education, they came from a good family, and they need to be, if they're over 26, like if they're 26 and up, they need to be making six figures or very much on track to be. That is your entire goal. I do. I mean, I make that much, and I have for a long time. So if you can't match me, I want to know what you're bringing to the table. Honestly, what are you bringing to the table? Love? Okay. I can get love anywhere. I have love for my friends. I have never felt needing of love in my life. I can get love from a dachshund at the rescue center. Do you know what I mean? You need to be bringing things into my life and pulling your own weight, because I want to be inspired by a guy. And this isn't like, oh, I need him to take care of me. I need him to be a whole person on his own with goals of his own, dreams, achievements, chasing his own things, because that is going to be a strong man. That's an alpha. That's a pack leader, and that's a pack builder, right? So don't feel guilty that you're dating a guy who's wealthy. Trust me, wealthy girls, they usually have really flat asses. This is not a scientific study. I have just from my basic observation, they have weak chins and flat asses. So you're already doing great. I can just tell. All right, what else do we want to talk about today? Oh, it's so hot. I'm sorry I'm like turning purple. Whew. Are you guys liking this live stream so far? It's kind of fun, right? Do I believe, Maria says, do you believe in finding the one? That's a really good question. I think it's like if you look at friendships, like I have much more experience with best friends, like girls who I feel like are my soul sisters, than boys who I feel like my soul mates, you know? So I think the one can change at different times in your life. Like you have a best friend that's at one point, and then you have, you know, you change and you grow, and then what you're looking for is completely different. You know what I mean? So I also think like life is really, really long, really long. Can you imagine anything worse than only having sex with one person for the next 70 years? I can't. That sounds horrifying, right? Oh, Mr. James, I'm sorry. Would you post it again? Can someone just repost Mr. James's question? Because I feel like it was really good. I won't ask another one until I see it again. Hi, Nia. I love Manchester. Two of my friends live in Manchester. Oh, James' question. My opinion on zodiac signs. Do you think other zodiac signs? Okay, I'm so glad you asked this. I'm so glad you asked this. I get a lot of questions from you guys, private questions. By the way, if you have a private question for me, you can submit it on the Instant Go app. My username is ShallonXO, and click chat. Oh, and by the way, watch me on Wendy Williams tomorrow morning. I'm doing the Wendy Williams show. 10 a.m. It's live. I think 10 a.m. like all markets. So no matter what time zone you're in, you can watch it at 10. And it'll also be on YouTube, so I'll be posting the link. But zodiac signs. So I get a lot of questions from you guys. And when you're like, so I'm a Taurus with Cancer rising, and Kevin, he is a Sagittarius with Leo rising, and this is his birthday, and maybe our star signs, I'm like, you're already sunk. You are already sunk. You know what else I have on my shelf? Here, let me show you my bookshelf of shame. Come here. Oh, okay. This is a book called The Astrology of You and Me. And it's all about the Aries friend, the Gemini child. And there's a whole, half this book is if you're an Aquarius and he's a Pisces and blah, 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 and how all that matches up. Do you know when I bought this book? When my good guy fuckboy was making me crazy. That's when I bought it. Whenever I have been so desperate for clarity that I am literally looking into a crystal ball for answers, you know what the answer is? He don't like you. He don't like you. He is not giving you enough that you can base any assessment on what he's saying, what he's doing. There's just not enough data there. So you're like, I know, let me consult the heavens. Let me look skyward as people have done for millennia. No, girl, no, no. He's a douchebag rising in the house of fucker, okay? That's not good. So if you find yourself consulting a Cosmo flowchart quiz, the bedside astrologer, calling a hotline, no. This isn't scientific, but nobody should be making you feel that crazy that you have to look into the sky. So no, I don't think certain signs are necessarily more compatible. It's like, I mean, there's overlaps of all of our Venn diagrams for every single sign. I've dated every single sign under the zodiac, and I don't notice a positive or negative difference with one. I notice a positive and negative difference with boys who communicate and who actually like me and who are woke enough to realize what they want out of this situation. Are they only looking for a fuck buddy? All right, fine. There's somebody out there for you if you are. You're not going to find them if you're not honest. Are they looking for me to be a girlfriend, a friend? Like, I need that clarity, and that doesn't have anything to do with astrology. All right. I am speaking facts. I'm drinking LaCroix and speaking facts. Maybe that's what I should title this series. LaCroix and chill. All right. Ooh, how do you date a guy if you've already messed with his friend? Good luck. I mean, guys are territorial. You know what I mean? They're hunters. The penguin thing. You know what the penguins were doing? They were staking their claim. They're very, very territorial. So that really is an uphill battle. The best option is to just do not call any attention to it whatsoever at all. Okay, we got a new question. Hi, Coralie. Such a pretty name. Dating after weight loss. Oh, how to deal with guys that used to reject you now talking to you. Oh, how do you deal with them? Wait, do I have a gun handy? No, I don't. You don't deal with them. You do not deal with them. Stacy, I see your question, and we're going to get to that next. If I don't in the time, just resubmit it. And I understand, Coralie, where you're coming from. It's what I call kill the cheerleader syndrome. You want to go back and stick it to those people who were mean to you, but you need to look forward and not behind. All right? Because if you stay with people who are in the fat years, the fat you're always going to feel like fat you. And you're not. And you were never fat you. You were always the real you inside with just this outer shell that didn't match how you felt. So now you have the opportunity to look as good as you feel, and you need to go with that. Don't go back. Because these people, it's you're never going to fill up that hole of how bad they hurt you. You can date them and you can break up with them, and because I have done this, and it's just never enough. And then you feel crazy because you feel like you can't slake your bloodlust for hurting these people. And then you're going to reach the same conclusion, which is I got to just move on. And it's better just to reach that up front, right? All right. So the next question we have is how not to get burnt out with dating. This is true. I think for me, I used to get really burnt out with dating. It would make me feel crazy. And then I met the boy I married, and then we got unmarried. And after my divorce, I was like, I don't need any of you. It was almost like there was no heart to break, And so I didn't get burnt out dating because I didn't need them. They were a complement to my life. They were not the completion. And because of that, I was filling my life with so many other things. That's when this channel really started to take off. I was using the energy that I had just frittered away, literally blowing my energy away on boys for decades of my life, 20 years of my life. What I could have done with that energy, what I could have accomplished. So when I decided to reframe that and really take it, Chris, we got a question. Okay, we're gonna get to that. That was a good question that just came up. Once I reframe that, it's I didn't need boys. And when you don't need something, you don't get burnt out because you can put it back on the shelf, you can compartmentalize it. You'd be like, no, I am relegating you to the position in my life you should be, which is fun and not requirement. Oh, okay. Miss Omi, how to get over a guy you met on vacation in another country. Actually, I have a whole video on this. Okay, don't let me forget that, but we're gonna get to that. So another girl asked, are girls over 34 invisible to guys? No, they're not. What you need to do is go younger, way younger, 25. And I've done a whole series on younger guys, but first of all, 34 is nothing. J-Lo's 49. I'd fuck J-Lo, right? Like, you are only as old as you feel. I know people who were born old. You know what I mean? We all do. It's like they were old at 16. They're going to be old at 34. And I know people, like, I don't know if you guys know how old I am. I'm not going to tell you. But, like, it's like you're going to have a young spirit forever. So you are not invisible to anyone but yourself. And when you stop thinking of things as like, do they see me? Who cares what they see? Do you see you? Do you see your value? Do you feel alive and vivacious? Are you following those threads of passion we had talked about earlier? Those passionate interests, those hobbies that make you light up inside. When you're doing that, you are visible to everyone. Okay. Oh, how to get over a guy you met on vacation in another country. All right, you guys want to hear this story? So there was this boy I met. This was a while, like a few years ago. We met on vacation in Mexico, and we were like lovers. Like, we had the most amazing night, and he was way, way younger. Way younger. And he was like, I'm obsessed with you. Like, this meant way more to him than to me. He's like, I'm never gonna meet anyone like you again. I've never met any girl like this before. Oh my God, I love you. You're gonna be my wife. I love you. Yeah. And I mean, I was like, yeah, like, this is fun, but okay, like, it's 2 a.m. in a cabana, like, on the beach. It's totally fine. And then, like, after we both went our separate ways, he went back to Washington, I went back to New York, I like never heard from him again. And I like texted him, just like something funny, like a song came on that we had like been listening to, and he was very like whatever-ish, and I was like, wait, you were the one who's like, I'm obsessed with you. This is classic boy, because what that is compartmentalization. This is the fundamental difference between guys and girls. They can, number one, like a girl just a little bit. When we like someone, we're all in. We want to meet the friends, we want to hang out all the time, we want to meet the family. Like, we're all or nothing. Guys are not like that. They can like you just a little bit. And a big part of that is compartmentalization. Compartmentalization happens when you're long distance. Guys don't do well long distance. Men are very unself-aware, but in this one particular category, they do kind of understand that, like, they don't have the capacity for long distance. Men are very tactile. Their love language, we've talked about love languages, is physical touch. Like, they have to be touching you. Like, they need to physically touch their woman. When I'm out of town, my boyfriend like goes completely feral. He cannot handle it because he's not physically touching me all the time. I'm fine with like some text, some FaceTime, like, we're good. I still feel that emotional connection. He doesn't. He's got to have hands-on. So that is why you can have this amazing love with a guy on vacation, and then it's like, they can't conceptualize what it's going to be like after that. And I think that's why they value it more. Like, that's why my dude was like, ah! He was like in his glass cage of emotion, because he knew that this didn't have legs outside of what we were experiencing. So you should think of it that way too. Like, this is one of the few emotional things we should borrow from guys, is that compartmentalization. Like, you know what? That was fun. And if I'm ever in Seattle or we're both back in Cancun at the same time, we'll start it up again. But sometimes it's good to leave the fun at the location. Because when you try to meet up afterwards, it just never has that magic. And if there's one thing sadder than losing like a guy, it's losing the magic of a memory. And listen, I need to chase every lead. You know what I mean? Like, people like, leave the fun at the bar. It's like, no, I have to like go. I have to chase the rabbit all the time. I have to go to the bitterest of bitter ends. But finally, I've learned that like sometimes that's not always healthy, and it's better to just leave things as they are. And if anything, think about vacation you. Think about who you were on that vacation that maybe you don't get to be in your regular life. Maybe you've left behind this reputation of being the dork or the good girl or the slut or the whatever, and you were able to be your better self. Take that into your real life, and you will have those magical vacation experiences at home. Katrina! Oh, can we chat more about the 5 love languages? Oh, yeah. Oh, and more analysis with Meghan Markle? Every time I talk about Meghan Markle, people say that I'm racist, and it's just like, I'm not. I mean, I feel all white people are, you know, like, we all have our peccadillos, but it's not a racial thing, people. It's a thing that, like, she's separating her husband from his family. That's really toxic. I don't care what race she is, and she's gorgeous. I think she's probably a cool person. Like, I would love to be friends with her. I think she's great philanthropically. Like, I love everything she does. I don't think she's a great partner to Harry, you know? But we'll talk more about Meghan. So the 5 love languages is a book, and call the 5 love languages. And I've always said it's like weirdly Jesus-y, which I've just like never understood, but okay. So you could ignore the Jesus part. Like Jesus is chill, but, and today's like his day. Actually, Easter is a pagan holiday. It's Ostara. Shout out to my witches. So the 5 love languages are physical touch, compliments, acts of service, quality time, and did I say compliments? Compliments, physical touch, acts of service, quality time, gifts. Gifts is the 5th one. So usually we all kind of hone in on 1 or 2. Mine are compliments and acts of service. I love to be told I'm pretty, and I want a guy who's gonna unload the dishwasher. Daddy! But like most guys, like I said, are physical touch, and you know, usually they're not like gifts, unless a blowjob's a gift, or, you know, it's more physical touch. So it's really important to sit down with your partner and ask them, please put my foot on the table. Okay. So you feel better now? Yeah, it's important to sit down with your partner and just bring it up. You don't have to be like, here's this weird book we're gonna read. It's about love and Jesus. You can like tell it as a story like this. Like, oh, I was watching this weird chick, Shallon, on her live stream. She's amazing. She's talking about love languages. What do you think yours are? Because again, like, no one can change what they don't acknowledge. And when you understand what your boyfriend's love language is, you're gonna be like, oh, when he built that birdhouse for me, that was him showing love. Oh, you know? Because we all give to others via our love languages. You know, like I fold my boyfriend's clothes and I tell him that he's foxy, and he's like, all right, but he needs like physical touch and something else. So once you know where someone lies, it's much easier to recognize what people are doing to demonstrate their love for you. But people should also always be saying that they love you. Actions speak louder than words, but words still speak. You know what I mean? All right. Oh, we were talking about Meghan. So Meghan and Harry, I don't know if you guys just like read this gossip that like the palace is trying to get them like as far away from them as possible. Like they want to make Harry basically like the king of their own country. So that's like we were talking about with toxic relatives, is separation, which is really sad. Hopefully it doesn't come to that, but that would be really cool if they did get to be king and queen of their own country. Any country. That'd be amazing. All right. Bridget, friends with benefits. He treats me like a girlfriend, but I'm making the effort to see him. How do I get more from him? Ugh, Bridget, girl. All right. I've always said this. When guys are like, girls are crazy, she's being crazy. Do you know what that actually means? Do you know what that means? There are about 3 different categories, give or take, that a girl can fit into in a guy's life. Friend, booty call, girlfriend, right? Pretty much, we fit into these 3. If I'm a friend, great, let me know I'm a friend. If I'm a booty call, fine. If I'm a girlfriend or working towards that, great. Do not treat me like I'm in one category when I'm in the other. Don't treat me like I'm a girlfriend if I'm a booty call. Don't treat me like I'm a friend if I'm a girlfriend. That's when you get a crazy girl. And if he's treating you like a girlfriend but you're a booty call, you know what he's doing? He's using you. He is using you. Guys, like any virus, adapt. And they learn that like most girls, if you walked up to them and said like, hey, you wanna fuck and I'm never gonna call you until I wanna fuck, they're gonna be like, no. So they get real sneaky. And this is what a fuckboy is. A fuckboy isn't a guy who wants to fuck. No. A fuckboy is a guy who misrepresents his intentions to get as much out of you as he can, and then blames you for acting crazy when he can't follow through with exactly what he built up this relationship to be. So he's acting like you're his girlfriend so that he can rely on you emotionally and lean on your shoulder and cry and blah, 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 and get all that emotional stability when he needs it, but without any commitment. Doesn't that sound great? I've used this example 1 million times. If a job wasn't gonna hire you full time, they want you to come in and work here and there, but maybe they're gonna pay, no, they're not gonna pay you. They're not gonna pay you. And they're not gonna give you a title and not even a real schedule. How would that sound to you? Even a friend. If a friend is like, hey, so I want to call you when I'm having a meltdown and I need you. But I don't want you to call me. You can't, I'm not going to be here for you. You'd be like, get the fuck out of my life. It's no different. You can't get through to him. You can't change this. You have to get away from this person because they're using you. If it's not a hell yes right up front, it's a hell no. The ambitious one says, I would like to hear commentary on Halsey and Halle Berry. Oh, those are two very different people. But so Halle Berry is crazy, like crazy, 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 crazy. She likes when guys fight over her. She likes crazy men, and she does things to engineer crazy situations. I feel like had Halle Berry come up now, like in the age of like social media and there's like sources and TMZ and all this stuff, like we would have a very different view of her. I mean, we'd still love her because she's gorgeous. Those boobs. How? How does anyone have that bone structure? Ugh. But she is nuts, and she's a nightmare. She's a nightmare. Halsey, I've heard that Halsey's trying to get pregnant with Youngblood, and he's like cheating on her relentlessly. Of course he is, of course. I want her to get back together with G-Eazy. I love young Gerald. I think they work together. Like Halsey seems very unlikable, almost like she would be very offended at everything. You know, like she seems like she's so cool, but then actually if you like use a pronoun she doesn't like or something, she's like, actually, blah, blah, blah. She just seems like she's preachy. She's so cute, and she's so talented though. Like she's so talented, so like do whatever you want. I just hope that she stops involving her boyfriends with her business. Stop making music with people you're fucking, Halsey. It's a bad idea. Do you know who decided it was a bad idea? Jennifer Lopez with Ben Affleck. Before there was, you know, any of these other people, Haler and whatever, there was Bennifer. The beast that was Bennifer was Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez. And she put him and her, was it Love Don't Cost a Thing video or what are those? And it was like the kiss of death. It's like getting someone's name tattooed on you. And Halsey just keeps doing it. Like, I get that you're dating someone talented. I get that you respect their talent. Stop melding the two. I also heard she slept with Justin Bieber. And hasn't she slept with Machine Gun Kelly? Girl, does she have a velvet lined vagina? How'd she get all these dudes? She's got a great body. She's really hot, so can't blame her. Oh, can I do a meetup in New York City? Oh, a speed dating series on my channel. That actually sounds really fun. So I would love to do a meetup or something like that, but I'm like afraid no one would come. My last book, I had a book signing in my hometown and like 4 people came, and it has scarred me for life. It has scarred me for life. It's like you only ever have to have like one party that goes bad and you're like, I'm never having a birthday party again. We're never doing this. This is horrible. But if you guys really want to, that would be fun. I'm planning on writing another book this year. I gotta get on it. But once I do, then we could have like meetups. You know, there'd be like a reason, not just like, come hang out with me, please. So that would be pretty fun, you know? Ooh, what are some of my must-read books? Well, aside from this, like this, how you know your love life has gone off the rails. No, definitely the Lisa Nichols book, Abundance Now, and The Secret, must-read book. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, the selected works of Cesar Pavese. He's my uncle. He's one of the foremost authors in Italy's history. He passed away, but he's great. Also, Why Men Love Bitches. Changed my life. And don't go by the title. It's like, I don't want to be a bitch. No, it's not about being a bitch. It's not. They mean bitch isn't a bad bitch. But think of it, Why Men Love Rihanna. Think of it like that. Why men love bad bitches. Because you're going to read it and be like, oh, all the time I thought I was giving myself to guys and that was going to make him love me. You got to pull back. You got to have your own thing going on. You don't ever play hard to get. You are hard to get. That's when it works. Every time I played hard to get, I was just cosplaying as a more desperate person somehow. It was not great. Oh, the thoughts on The Art of Seduction. So I've read The Art of Seduction. It's like this big. It's like the Bible. It's kind of cooler than the Bible. And it kind of goes hand in hand with this astrology book. I remember combing through that book. Like I was studying for a final, like doing a thesis on The Art of Seduction, because it breaks down like, they call your target your victim. It's not like your crush or your love, it's victim. And it's basically a personality analysis of many different types of people and how to manipulate them. And, you know, I wasn't trying to manipulate a guy, I was trying to get him to love me. And now looking back, he was a homosexual. He was. And that's significant because had I pulled back and analyzed his behavior and been like, that guy doesn't like me or any other girl, I would not have felt the need to consult this sort of like crystal ball method. You know, I wouldn't have had post-it notes and flashcards about how I could make Darren love me. You know what I mean? If it's that hard, it's wrong. It's just wrong. It's not right. Read The Art of Seduction in terms of like business, because it helps you identify just like human behavior. But if you're trying to read it to see like why a certain guy doesn't like you or how you can make him, you're sunk. Honestly, you're sunk. And again, we only have a certain amount of time and we only have a certain amount of energy. And when I look back, what could I have been studying for? A language test, a Western Civ exam, a karate black belt, something that benefited me. Because even if those stupid flashcards have paid off and I got a gay guy to love me, and for so much of my romantic career, I have just been a dog chasing a car. He was gay because he had sex with men. That's how we know he's gay. He currently has sex with men. So that's pretty much my proof. I was like a dog chasing a car. What was I gonna do when I caught it? I was going after these guys with no thought to like, do I even want this person? What would my life actually be like if he had loved me back? Even if he wasn't gay. Let's say he was completely straight. He like lived in the middle of Jersey. Didn't have a job. No. I was a vegan. He ate meat. Just not great, you know? So we have another question. Let me see. Open. Oh my gosh. Okay, it said eat, design, inspire. My 3 favorite things. I'm 19, I've never been in a relationship. How do I get in one? Okay. Oh, and Emmy, we'll get back to you in a second. So I was 21 before I lost my virginity. Understand that you are not ahead or behind. No one gives a shit if you've been in a relationship. Nobody wakes up in the morning and goes, has Eat, Design, Inspire to have sex yet? Is she in a relationship? Literally no one's doing that. You wouldn't care so much what people thought about you if you knew how seldom they did. Ooh, yikes. But that's a good thing because that takes the pressure off of you, this social pressure of like, I'm not normal. I have to be doing what everyone else is doing. Nobody cares. A relationship, when you're looking at like, if you want to meet someone, if you want to have a connection, great. But if you're like, I need a relationship, I need a boyfriend to feel valid, that's going to have the opposite effect. It's going to reek of desperation and it's going to make guys like, because they're going to understand that you're just basically casting a role. You know, it's like now casting for the part of Eat, Design, Inspire's boyfriend, James? Yeah, you got it, fine. It's not about a connection, it's just about a seat filler. But when you do the things like I've talked about, the threads of passion, finding out what you love, focusing on goals that enrich you, you're gonna become magnetic because you're not gonna be playing hard to get, you're gonna be actually hard to get. And it's hard to do that. It's hard to take a step back and be like, I'm gonna take a break from this manhunt and I'm gonna focus on me. I'm gonna get back in touch with me. What am I curious about? Who was I when I was a child? Before I knew about boys, who was I? What made me happy? And I'm gonna go do those things. And ironically, that's when people wanna be in your life. So one of you guys asked, what's it like, or what are my thoughts dating outside your race? So I've dated a few people outside my race. I dated a Korean boy. He's a K-pop star now. I know, it's wild. And my last boyfriend was black. I mean, he is currently black. Joe, if you're on here, hi, I love you. Hi from Tokyo. And it was interesting. Like, I like dating younger guys. He was also very young. I like dating younger guys because I want people who have a different life experience to give me something different to say every day. I don't want to date a guy who's also working in an office, who's also working in a magazine, and then they come home and they're like, oh, you know, I had this meeting and blah, 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 and sales. I'm like, I don't give a shit. That's exactly what I've been hearing all day. I want to hear something different. So when I date someone from a different culture, from a different country, from a different school, from a different coast, it's like, wow, what'd you do today? Whoa, that's so cool. It gives you just like new ideas, new perspective, and vice versa. Like, he was hearing completely different life angles, you know? But I will say, the only people we encountered like hate from was Black women. It wasn't white people. It wasn't Black men, it was Black women. And I mean, of all, like one of my aunt's best friends is a Black woman, and she was like not happy that I had a Black boyfriend, not at all. And I was like, okay. And I just thought that was so sad, you know? Like, can't we all just like date who we fall in love with, you know? Okay. So, branch out. Thoughts on Rihanna? Ooh, yeah, we'll talk about Rihanna. So, speaking of dating outside your race, I've always heard that Rihanna, if she feels like she's becoming irrelevant, she sleeps with a white celebrity. Because, like, do you remember when she hooked up with, Leo DiCaprio, and then Ashton Kutcher? Wasn't she having, like, a thing with him? It was either Ashton or it was Justin Timberlake. It might have been both. But I was like, oh, Rihanna. And it just goes to show that, like, only when she's desperate will she date a white guy. I could not agree more, Riri. I just couldn't agree more. A little of that smugness goes such a long way, right? I love Rihanna because no matter where she is in her life, she finds the positive thing about it. And I realize this when she's talking about like gaining and losing weight. Her weight fluctuates a lot, which we don't realize because she's always she's always dressing, you know, she's always like showing up, feeling her best, projecting her best confidence, best everything. And she even said, she's like, it's interesting to be different weights because I have fun dressing my body when it's different shapes. I was like, I've never related to something less in my life. I only feel good about myself when I'm thin. I'm fat now and I feel, I don't even feel like a person. I feel horrible. And I'm like 8 pounds heavier than I should. Not a lot, not a lot. And yet it's enough to ruin my day. So that really changed my perspective on things. I was like, wow, thank you, Rihanna. And she's doing her own thing. And if a guy acts up, she's done. And she might be the crazy one in her relationships. I don't doubt it. Good for her. But she's also like, she's sane enough to be like, this isn't working. You're bothering me. Goodbye. I am really sad though that she went back to Chris Brown for as long as she did. And I've actually done a video about this, but it's like, I won't even get into it because it's like a whole other thing. But like, I was in an abusive relationship and like, I didn't understand why she went back to Chris Brown until I was with a boy who hit me. And then it's like, I got it. Because the behavior is such a shift and it's so sudden that you're like, of course it's my fault. Of course it's my fault. This isn't who they are. I did this. So it's tough. It's really tough. Thanks for telling me I look great. I was in the sun today, which I hate. And I'm like, oh, man. Oh, wait, someone just said, oh, I know you guys have been asking about Justin and Selena. I will do a Justin and Selena video. Are you guys sure you can handle it? Because it's gnarly. It's gnarly. And usually I'd like to have like a tie-in for the rest of us. It's like, well, what can we all learn from this? There might not be anything. It is that wild. Oh boy. Yeah, well, I'll talk about Selena. Okay, so I'm gonna try to do a bunch of videos tomorrow because after I do Wendy, like my makeup is gonna be done. I look like a drag queen. Like you honestly don't even think you can get that much makeup on your face until someone professionally does it and you're like, whoa. Please remove the cushionless camera download. I don't know what that means. Let's see. Yeah, let's not root for Chris Brown. You know why I don't want to root for Chris Brown? Because Chris Brown doesn't want to get better. Chris Brown wants to do whatever he wants and have everyone yay say him. And it's sad because he is so talented. But then we're running up against this R. Kelly, Michael Jackson situation where it's like, how do we separate the talent from the man? And how do we continue to endorse someone who is a nightmare knowing what we know? Do we want to even know? Will it change anything? Or are we just going to keep giving him our money and the collaborations and the accolades, you know? And if so, why even bother to know? It's hard. It sucks because then you have celebrities, like female celebrities who do one bad thing and it's like they're game over, you know, like Jordan Woods. All right, guys, I've only got 10% of battery left, so we're going to do maybe one more question. It's been an hour already. Whoa. Okay. Oops. Okay, hold on. I don't know if a guy's homosexual. You know what? I should do a video on that. Okay, we'll do one last one on how to flirt, right? Flirting is eye contact. 98% of communication is nonverbal. Like, do you guys remember the Shallon elevator incident, right? I didn't put this in my Beyonce video, which I really regret. I forgot, and now I'm like, ugh! So I was the editor of Star Magazine at the time, and we watched that video 50 times, again and again and again and again, trying to figure out what was going on. And what I deduced, oh, wait a minute. Okay, you have a crush on a guy? So we're gonna talk about Solange. So, crush on a guy, but he's not asking for your number. Remind me of that. Okay, we're gonna talk about Solange, then go to that. What I deduced is like the body language of Jay-Z and those three people, like we couldn't hear what they're saying, but since we know 98% of communication is nonverbal, we had all the information we need watching that. And when I watched it, Jay and Bay were like this. Solange was raging, and they were like stone. And I thought, Solange is either an alcoholic or she's mentally ill, because Jay and Bay, this is not their first rodeo with this behavior. And everyone thought like, oh, Solange was defending Beyonce. That was not Beyonce's body language. Her body language would have been like pacifying or joining in her. It wasn't. They both had this look of just wait it out, wait till it's over. We've all experienced someone who is like, here we go again. It's Uncle so-and-so at dinner, like, blah, blah, blah. That's what it was. Notice how Solange pulled out of Coachella? She needs to be in rehab. Mark my words, that's what's happening. Okay. Oh, okay. What was the other question I was gonna ask? What just was it? So, shoot. You guys are gonna have to remind me. Okay, so this one is how to deal with a coworker that likes the same guy that you like. She like gives you the stink eye. How about this? Don't date someone you work with. You are at work to further your goals, not to get laid, not to date someone. The Office was like literally the worst thing that could have happened to women because it made it okay to focus your entire career. Now, let's not make a career. Let's make a husband. Let's make a crush. No. You know what Pam could have achieved? I don't know, something better than being a secretary in Scranton, Pennsylvania. And then like an office manager, as if that's some huge life step up. You're just sitting in a different place, still learning about the copier. You guys do not need to be not only liking someone at work, like it's fun, it's a little crush, whatever, but if it's distracting you to the point that you not only have a crush, you have an enemy, and now there's a love triangle, your job has come like, it's so far down the list of priorities. And when this thing goes bust, which it will, whose career is gonna suffer? Not the man's. Men get to run the world. They make more money than us. And consciously or unconsciously, the powers that be are going to identify you as the problem, not him. Not worth it. Especially if he's pitting two girls against each other. If he's not choosing you, he's not choosing anybody. Cut. All right, so I think there was one last question I was going to ask, and I'm so sorry. I need like a recorder here to like, sorry. You guys asked a question and I can't remember it. Oh, you have a crush on someone and he won't ask for your number. He's not asking for your number because he doesn't want it. Girl, you know I tell you the truth. You know I shoot you straight. If a guy has access to you, right, regular access to you, and he has a rapport with you, AKA the ice has been broken, you have something to talk about, like, and again, remember when I was talking earlier about how to make like friends outside of school? Like, life only gets harder. And if a guy can't speak to you and make that connection when he already has access to you and you're already giving off vibes that you like him, because we all think, oh, we're so slick, he doesn't know. He always knows, they always know. It's because he doesn't want to. And then instead of walking in the light of that truth, because that light is painful, and like all light, we're like, I don't want to see it, it hurts. We try to find little loopholes. Oh, I know, I'll DM him. I know, I'll like 25 of his pictures in a row. He might go out with you if you ask him. He might let you come over and suck his dick. Wow. But that's what we call passive reciprocation. And I talk about this all the time. That is not the same as pursuit. That is not courtship. Think back to those penguins. That penguin was making the nest. I could do this all night, and I probably will. We cannot keep putting a question mark where God puts a period. And we can, but it's to our own destruction. It is better to look at that period, not like it, and then move on to someone who has an open system, right? Okay, this is the very last question. Thoughts on dating a teacher when the semester ends? So biologically, women are hardwired to like the most available guy in a population, right? It's just like a old school survival mechanism. We're trained to evaluate like a robot, like scanning for like the most viable, mateable penguin. So when, especially in school, if we have a teacher who's even like this much shaggable, we're gonna be like, oh, dreamy, because he's in a position of authority. We're pack animals, we like leaders. He's telling you what to do, I like it. And he's probably like not much older than us, you know, like we don't realize our teacher's like actually not that much older than we were. But remember when you went to summer camp and like the hottest guy was there and you're like, oh my God, David. Why were they always named David? Because they were such fucking dorks. But if you put David from camp out in the real world, camp 10 is real world 6. He was camp hot. So your teacher is probably classroom hot. So once you can get some perspective and lean back and be like, oh, is he a Camp David? Then you're probably gonna realize that maybe it's not super worth it. Because just like dating a coworker, this has wide-ranging ripples. Just because the class is over doesn't mean your education is, right? And if push comes to shove, say there's an allegation of impropriety, say he mentioned something in the teacher's lounge about hooking up with you, and he's saying that to your brand new professor. Now they're looking at you like a slut and they're making inappropriate comments. Who does that hurt? You. Your goals, work and school, need to exist completely outside the realm of romance. And believe me, I am a hoe and a half, and if I can say that, it's the truth. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. This has been so much fun. I can't believe an hour has gone by. If you guys have enjoyed this, click like and subscribe on my channel. New videos coming soon. And be sure and follow me on social media at ShallonXO. And like I said, if you have a love question of your own that I didn't get to answer here, find me on the Instant Go app. My username is ShallonXO, and click chat to get connected right away. Like, just text me privately. It's super fun. All right, guys. I'll see you later. Mwah.